What up, doe? What up, doe? What up, doe? What up, doe? It's your girl, Zsa Zsa. You already know. It's yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. It's Thankful Thursdays. We have the activities of our limbs. We ain't in nobody's hospital. We ain't in nobody's jail. And believe you me, they got room because I remember being in Oakland County Jail and they didn't have no room for us and they made a 6-bunk cell, okay? I was sitting there with two white girls, 2 black girls, and a Mexican. And did none of us have a bed, but listen, they gave us some covers and said, go have your way. But if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking to you about dig a little deeper. It's only the beginning. And when life changes happen, that means that there's a shift that's happening in your life. And sometimes we don't understand why that shift is happening in that particular moment. You know, sometimes we'll be like, why couldn't this happen a few years ago? Or why couldn't this happen later on in life? And, you know, God is always working with me on being better, better than what I was before, being a better mom, being a better woman, being a better sister, being a better entrepreneur. And your goal in life should always be better. And sometimes people are not going to always hold you accountable for you to get better because they feed off of, or they are able to manipulate you being stagnant or in that same place. It's a hard pill to swallow when you start growing and the people around you do not. It's a challenge when you're doing the hard parts, when you're digging and discovering new things about you that you didn't discover about yourself. And it starts to make people uncomfortable when they aren't digging a little deeper for themselves. If you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. It's your girl, Zsa Zsa. Make sure you follow me on Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. Stop acting brand new. And listen, make sure you follow me on IG, Zsa Zsa C. Hubbard. But I'm talking to you today about it's only the beginning. You know, this is only 20 days into January, and we've already, for most of us, have experienced some different things in our lives, from some amazing contracts and partnerships to some hardships and some losses. And I am one to say that when you're transitioning in life, it could be difficult. One of my favorite movies is Princess and the Frog. And I promise you, if I ever had a daughter, oh my God, me and her would be like BFFs. So I guess my little sister is like my daughter / sister. But I know that my favorite movie is Princess and the Frog. And Princess Tiana is a young lady who is aspiring to be something. And she has a vision of where she wants to be. But unfortunately, her life style and the things that her and her family have been through don't allow her to get to that next level until she discovers some things about herself that allows her to get to the next level. And one of the things that I love about the movie Princess and the Frog is that when we are desiring to be better in life, there are going to be some losses. There are going to be some changes. There are going to be some challenges. You're going to be chasing after some things about yourself because now you are rediscovering. It's like when my mother passed away, there was another level and heightened that I became after my mom passed away. It was different than when my dad committed suicide. When my dad committed suicide, I was 21 years old. And my son was 3 years old. I was still trying to process me being a mother, dealing with a young lady I thought was my friend, sleeping with my son's father. So there was a multitude of thought processes that was going on in my head. And just like the movie Princess and the Frog, this young lady, Tiana, had the ideal that if I just keep working hard enough, if I just stay determined, if I just stay focused. In the movie, her friends talked about her. You know, people thought she was crazy for working the way that she did and operating the way that she did. But see, one of the things that you have to understand is that there are some sacrifices, right, that have to be made in order for you to live the life that you want to live. I didn't get no handouts. I didn't get no hand-me-downs unless it was clothes. So when it came down to work ethic and things that I wanted out of my life, I know I have to go out and work and go and get them. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about it's only the beginning. dig a little deeper. Because see, in the beginning, we're all jumbled up, right? It's like a woman with a new baby. You know, she's inspired and she's excited because it's the beginning stages, right? Of parenthood. It's like when you go to a new job and you get the new job and you're excited and, you know, I got this new job and it's the beginning, and then you start working there. And after a while, it's like, I ain't know I signed up for this. You know, you love your baby, but then all of a sudden you waking up in the middle of the night and you sleepy. And now it's like, ooh, I didn't know that I knew this was a part of parenthood, but I didn't know that I was going to have to do this. You know, it's like, you know, starting off with a business venture and you think that, oh, wow, this business venture is going to take off and it's going to do some amazing things. And unfortunately, thank you. And unfortunately, you end up losing more than what you put in. And so when it comes to life, you dig a little deeper. There were perspectives that God allowed me to see that I didn't understand. I didn't understand why certain things happened the way that they happened, because all I was used to was saying, why is this happening? And sometimes we can be in certain scenarios in our life and we question, God, why is this happening in this particular moment? Why are these people doing these things to me at this particular season in my life? And one of the things that I also had to learn is that there are going to be hurdles that you are going to have to learn to jump over. That don't mean that you ain't going to scrape up your legs. And it ain't going to mean that you ain't going to feel the pain of that hurdle. And it don't mean that you're going to have to sweat and toil and cry sometimes to get over that hurdle. But man, when you jump over that hurdle, when you get past whatever it is, and you look back and you see how far you've come, even if you're not in the place, right, where you thought you should be in this particular point in time in your life. I say that because as an athlete, I graduated from Mackenzie High School on Wyoming, Joy Road, forever. You already know, 100 years. And when I graduated from Mackenzie, I was an athlete. I ran track. I was a mid-distance and long-distance runner. And my coach kept trying to get me to run hurdles. And man, oh man, as much as I desired to be one of those girls, boom, hop over, boom, boom. I desired to be one of those girls that jumped over the hurdles. But see, this is the thing. I didn't train to jump over those hurdles. And see, this is why having a prayer life, having a church life, having friends and family that's going to hold you accountable, being around positive people who give off great energy and it's going to speak life into dead situations, having people, that's why it's important, because you won't know the hurdles that's going to come into your life until they come. And see, some of us don't realize that when we're going through what we're going through, God is training us for other hurdles that's going to come in our life. See, I didn't know that further on in life that certain things were going to happen. I didn't know that certain people were going to betray me. I didn't know that certain people were going to have certain conversations about me that I wasn't going to be able to hear, that God could hear. So then that's when God says, these are the hurdles that I placed in front of you. You're going to have to learn to jump over them. This is why preparing yourself for certain situations, don't wait until the hurdle get in front of you to prepare to deal with these hurdles in your life. You have to start preparing for those things every single day of your life. Let me tell you something. One of the reasons that God has allowed me to win this race called life is because I keep a steady pace. I ain't trying to keep up with you. Me and you ain't even on the same frequency. We ain't on the same level. God ain't told you what he told me. God told you something different. Your vision may be similar, but it ain't the same as mine. Your mission may be similar, but it ain't the same as mine. My identity, my DNA, how I am made is totally different from you. So guess what? What God has for you is going to be for you. And what God has for me is going to be for me. Because I have that mindset. That wasn't always my mindset. That wasn't always my mindset. And see, the enemy has come into our community, people that look like you and me, and they have caused us to be against each other instead of for each other. I don't take what you do in life takes nothing away from me. If anything, it adds to the value of our relationships. But see, when people don't value what you bring to the table, they also can't value the relationship that you're building. See, when I was on my track team and I was a part of that organization at Mackenzie High School as a team, we understood the benefits of working together. This is why the acronym Together Everyone Achieves More is just not an acronym. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. It has to be something that is set in your stone and set in your soul. Because if you understand that together everyone achieves more, then you understand that there has to be a togetherness first in order for you to achieve more. If TEAM's acronym stands for Together Everyone Achieves More, then that means we got to do some things together. There are some things that I can do by myself that I don't need no help with. I can do it effortlessly. I didn't need no help putting on my makeup. I got that. I ain't need no help curling my hair. I got that. But when it came down to me needing support for certain areas and certain other frequencies and things that I had going on, that's where I need you to come into play at. That's just like somebody moving, right? You move from one place to the next. Can't nobody move by themselves. Now they can, right? If you're a determined individual. However, you're going to need something. You're going to need a truck. You're going to need a dolly, maybe. You're going to need some tape. There are other components that you need in order to move. And it's the same thing in life. There are other components that you are going to need in order to get to the next level. When you take on the spirit, I can do it all by myself and I don't need nobody, then you mess yourself up for making your journey harder in life. When you choose to be prideful and allow your ego to mess you up, what ends up happening is life becomes harder. Life becomes easier when you work together. See, one of the reasons why we had a winning track team is because we understood the momentum that you need in order to work together. You also need to understand the attitudes that the team members need to have in order for us to be successful. Sometimes we are going to have off days. Every day you're not going to be excited for life, and every day you're not going to wake up with the zeal that you want to be a parent. Sometimes as a parent, you're tired. All right, kids, go watch TV. Sometimes as a wife or as a spouse or as a girlfriend, you tired. All right, going on. I don't feel like humping on me today. I just need some time. As an employee or as employer, sometimes you tired. Okay, I don't want to hear about y'all getting into it. Why are you late again? You about to get fired, or I'm about to get fired because I'm late again. You have these different moments in your life. And when you have a good team around you, they can pick you up when your frequency and when you're feeling like yourself. But see, when you don't have a good team, they don't understand when your vibration is low, when you're not yourself. This is why you got to be mindful. In the beginning, we're talking about it. If you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about in the beginning. In the beginning, you are going to have to dig. You are going to have to dig because your steady pace in this race called life, you're going to need some good teammates. You're going to need some teammates that don't mind picking up where you left off. Don't mind digging where you can't dig. Don't mind taking the calls when you need to take the calls. Because at the end of the day, if your team is only predicated about how you move, you're going to mess yourself up. If the people that are around you are only motivated by you, you already messing up, because you want to be around self-motivated individuals. One thing that you don't want to do is always having to be the person that's pushing your friends to be great, that's pushing your lover to do better, that's pushing family members to get their life in order. See, what ends up happening is you end up being the pusher and the person that ends up pushing people away because you see their potential and they don't see it. You see what they're capable of, but they don't see it. And what ends up happening is the energy that you need for you ends up becoming draining because you're trying to motivate and push them. And see, one of the things as a team member is that you got to find your pace. See, I ran the 4x4 and the 4x8. I ran, what was that? Well, 4x4, 4x8, and we did the 2 mile. And one of the things that you understand in a relay race is you have your lead, you have your middles, and then you have your anchor. Now your lead, they're gonna set the tone. They go out, they shoot that gun, bah! They come out, they got to set the tone, right? They have to set the tone between them and the rest of the people that they are running against. Then that second leg, when that second leg comes, they're supposed to take off from where that lead took you, right? They're supposed to set an even bigger pace, right? Or at least maintain the pace that was already given. Then you have the third leg. Now, the third leg is very, very important because the third leg has to determine either I got to work even harder or I got to make sure that I keep this distance between me and the other team members. Now, this is where you got to understand your place. Then finally, we have the anchor. The anchor of the relay team, they going to take it all the way in. They know that they are sealing the deal to this win. It's just like in football. It's just like in basketball. Everybody has their place. The point guard knows that when I get the ball, I know I'm supposed to shoot. If I'm on defense, I know that I got to defend my team because the win is on the line. But see, when people don't know the role that they are supposed to play, people start cross-referencing, and now people got attitudes because there was no roles determined in the relationship. It's just like a marriage. I marry people. I've been marrying people this year. It'll be 10 years, 11 years that I will be a wedding officiant. And one of the things that I've noticed is that successful marriages understand what roles they play in a marriage. Even in a relationship, even in a friendship, even in a parenting, even if you and the parent ain't together, a father knows how important it is to be a father to their children. It don't matter if you're 8 or 18 or 28. When you are a parent, you understand your role. And see, this is when you look at other parents and their children. Have you ever seen badass kids? Yeah, I said it before I take it back. I'm ammo to it. Have you ever seen somebody with some kids that you want to whoop? And guess what? The only reason why you want to whoop them is because the leadership that they have is not in a position to discipline those children. And it doesn't always mean you got to beat them, but there's a look that you can give your child and they will stop whatever it is that they're doing and get some act right going. Okay? There is a look that you can give a child and everything ceases. And see, when you start making decisions that concern you and your family, you start making better decisions and better choices because you don't have time for the riffraff. And see, when you understand everybody's role in your team or your family or within your friendship or within your business, when roles cross, there's no ego. Because you understand that obviously this person is taking on this role to make up in an area where it's lost. And see, sometimes there are some relationships where there are some parents or some people who are playing a duality role. They are playing more than one role, especially those that are single parents. Single parents understand that I'm serving two parents. I'm serving children, but it's supposed to be a two-parent job. And this is one of the reasons why some people get exhausted and they get burnt out quick. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to, yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about in the beginning. It's only the beginning, and dig a little deeper. This is why in the beginning of certain situations and certain scenarios, you get burnt out quick. Because now you're no longer working smarter, you're working harder. And when you have a team, there is no reason why you should have to work harder. You should be working smarter because now everybody has a delegated position where they can function. This is why when it comes down to our communities, we have to be able to respect people's positions. And you have to understand the position that you play and the role that you play. Let me tell you something. Most men don't get away with cheating unless the person that they cheating with is okay with cheating. See, this is why some of the scenarios that happen in our lives, we can't put it all on other people, because you know the role you played. You know the position you played. This is just like when certain people get shot and certain people get killed. I don't want nobody to get shot and killed, but you also got to pay attention to your circle. If you're around nothing but killers, what you think gonna happen? It may not always be the person that's doing the shooting that end up getting shot. It could be the people that's affiliated with the shooter. It happens all the time. And it's just that simple, because a lot of times people aren't making good decisions. And those good decisions come from being around bad team members. Most of the stuff that you did that was wrong or bad, some of it came from off your own merit. You thinking about doing some crazy stuff, right? But then when you brought it to somebody else and said, hey, man, I'm thinking about, man, woo, 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 blah, 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 blah. And two things are going to happen. No, three things are going to happen. They're going to either agree with you to do the dumb stuff, they're going to disagree with you to do the dumb stuff, or they're going to play the neutral role. Two of those roles are dangerous. The neutral and the person that agrees with you all the time. The person who has always been neutral, they ain't picking no sides. They just kind of riding the fence. You watch them, because they're going to play the role. They're going to play the role as long as they can play the role. And the person that agrees with you all the time, they're a people pleaser. And so they're never going to say what's really on their mind, because guess what? They don't want to have no problems. How can you not have problems in a world that's conducive and built to keep us hindered? We're going to continuously have problems in our community if we don't address the situations that we need to address. See, a lot of us don't want to address things because we don't want to offend. We don't want to cause no problems or have any confrontation. But I'm going to tell you something. Most of what we've learned came from confrontation, came from something happening to us. See, we love all the good stuff, all the great moments, great times, and we was having a good time. But it's those moments that made you cry. It was those moments that didn't feel good. It was those moments where you didn't feel like yourself. It was in those moments of depression. It was in those moments of frustration. It was those moments where you had to dig a little deeper, is when you were able to grow into the next level. See, you don't grow into the next level. You don't go into the next level. You grow into the next level. And see, in order for you to grow into the next level, you're going to have to water yourself. You're going to have to allow yourself to get the sunshine. You're going to have to talk good to yourself in order for you to be able to grow. You're going to have to walk yourself out of certain scenarios and walk away from certain people, because in order for you to grow to that next level, there are some people, there are some situations that are not going to be conducive to where you're getting ready to go. A lot of times we beg and ask and pray for God to do things that God is so desperately ready to do. But you keep holding on to that Negro. You keep checking her Facebook and Instagram status. You keep going back to a job that's causing you depression. You keep holding on to something that want to let you go, and you don't want to let it go. And see, one of the things that I've learned is to accept where they are and expect more for where I'm going. See, I got to accept people for where they are and expect more from me because of where I'm going. See, I can accept that you a liar, that you a backbiter, that you a betrayer, that you don't mean a person no good. But guess what? I can't accept that from me, because that's not my MO. That's not how I operate. That's not what I'm on. But see, there are some people that are on a different wavelength than you. Their whole dynamic and thought process of how they operate is totally different. And so because it's totally different, you got to learn, you know what? I'm going to accept that you ain't going to do what you say you going to do. So because I'm going to accept that, I'm going to be done with this, done with you, and I'm going to take care of whatever it is that I got to take care of. And I'm not going to stress myself out about it, because guess what? As a woman, as a mother, as men in the community, we are always trying to do what we can. And then we become stressed out. You know, we want to give the kids a birthday party and we only got a couple dollars, or, you know, we want to do this and we want to do that. Listen, let me tell you something. Excuse me. I am a big believer in do what you can with what you have. And when you get more, then do more than what you could have. Because at the end of the day, you only can do what you can do. You only can do what you can do. And see, sometimes scenarios and situations make us feel bad. I've been there. I've been there where I couldn't get my son things for Christmas. I've been there where I could not produce certain things that I wanted to produce at that particular moment. And sometimes we get down on ourselves and we say things to ourselves that aren't true because of the emotional season that we're in, or the emotional environment that we're in. You know, there was a particular time that I didn't feel so confident about myself and my abilities. But I also realized that my mom had just died. I just went through a divorce. And so when you're dealing with those shifts and those traumatic experiences, then you also start feeling and picking at you. You start picking at yourself about certain things that you haven't done, and you're not giving yourself that grace, and you're not giving yourself that mercy. And this is one of the things that I don't like about people. I don't like the fact that we'll give the wrong people the grace and the mercy and not give it to the right people. We'll give the wrong people grace and mercy to do us any kind of way. And then we won't give the grace and mercy to people that genuinely want to be in our lives, that genuinely want to make things right or make things better. We snob at them and we roll our eyes at them. But then we turn around and be like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it, because of whatever they can do for us. You got to be mindful that you treat everybody on the same level. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. Life and death is applicable to the wealthy and the poor. There's nobody that's so such and much that they can escape those two things. You can't escape life and you can't escape death. But that dash in the middle is what you do have control over. That dash in the middle is what you do have the ability to change the trajectory of your life. That dash in the middle is where you can make the decision. Am I going to let this stuff bother me, or am I going to let this, or am I going to move on from this stuff? And see, one of the things that I have learned is that you can't accept it because you didn't expect it. There were some things in my life that I could not accept because I did not expect it. It just came out of left field. It's like when somebody you're friends with or somebody you care about does something to hurt you, and you like, dang, where did this come from? We was just cool last week. Now this week we ain't cool. What changed? And see, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, I'm gonna add more to it. I'm talking all about it's only the beginning. Dig a little deeper. Listen, if you're tuning in this first Friday of February, we are having our First Friday's Poetry Slam. Poetry night is for the grown and sexy. It ain't all that hoorah, okay? Because we're trying to stay COVID free, okay? So I don't need you breathing on me, talking to me. I need you listening to the poetry and feeling the vibes. Listen, mark your calendars, because all of February, I have something going on every single day. And I definitely have some virtual opportunities. If you don't feel like coming in person, we definitely have some virtual opportunities available. If you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, we got the First Friday Poetry Nights. Mark your calendars. That is February 4th. And then you already know we got some things that's going down for the Valentine's Day weekend. I have the Galentine's Day. Bring out you and your girls, you and your fellas, because we're going to be hanging out Saturday. And then that Sunday, we're doing a Galentine's Day brunch. Listen, ladies, get together, get real cute right before the Super Bowl. Okay, you might get you a little boo. And then that Monday, which is Valentine's Day, we are also going to have a speed dating event. Now, that speed dating is for singles. Okay, Real life singles. Okay. Okay. Singles. Not you might be single today and you don't know if you're going to be single tomorrow because y'all into it. Single. We don't want that. We want single, meaning if you are separated, divorced, or getting divorced, we need the paperwork first. Don't come to the speed dating if you ain't got that. Okay. Now, if you are in between your sexual orientation, you don't know if you liking girls or guys, we don't want that either. We need people that's on the straight away. We need you to pick one. Okay. Pick the one that you like. If you like girls, okay. If you like boys, okay. We need you to pick that side and stay there. And that's all we working with for this speed dating. Okay. We're dealing with Black single heterosexuals only. Now, don't start protesting on me, okay? LGBTQs, I's and Z's, and all of the other letters. We're going to have something for you later on down the line. But as of right now, I'm focused on that part, okay? So make sure you mark your calendars for the Valentine's Day weekend. It's going to be bananas. It's going to be crazy. And it's going to be super, super dope. I have some amazing partners that are going to be working with me. Shout out to At Peace, Keita, who's going to be working with me. Aster, wedding events, and event planning, was one of my strategic partners. Mr. 750, credit repair. He's another one of my sponsors and partners. And I'm super duper excited because God is moving me into a position that allows me to have strategic partnerships and not just people who want to be riding your coattail and just hanging around. Because you need people around you that are not only going to big you up, but they also believe in your vision and your dream, and they're willing to come and dig deeper with you. See, it's one thing for us to watch great friendships and watch great families, but it's a whole nother ball game to be a great family and to be a great friend and to build with your people. If you find yourself building with all these other people and you got family and friends that you know that are doing great things and you're not supporting that, you're whack. And you're whack as AF, okay? Y'all already know what it is. You listening to I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Listen, if you're tuning in, I'm talking all about it's only the beginning. Because in the beginning, you understand that it takes certain leadership to get you to the next level. Real leaders produce other leaders. You know, last year when my son was graduating, I went through some really crazy things with some people from his school. Long story short, my ex-husband's ex-wife's best friend ended up being my son's senior sponsor, and I was the parent senior sponsor. Needless to say, it was some turmoil and some challenges. But y'all already know I'm straight up and no chaser, and I ain't got time to play no games with not one single soul, and you ain't got a heaven or hell to put me in. So I had to let it be known to the powers that be, like, this is the scenario. This is what's going down. I just wanted you to be aware just in case some pop off. But I said all that to say, when that popped off, my pastor got called. They called the pastor on me, y'all. Can y'all believe that? Now, how you going to talk all this cash money junk about me, say all these scandalous things about me, then go tell? What? Where was all of that thugginess? Where was all of that gangster talk when you was talking your talk? And then when I said something, you know what I'm saying? Then y'all go and tell. They told on me, y'all. Okay? How you grown as F, older than me, and you telling? So, told the pastor on me. The pastor like, Zsa Zsa, you know you're a leader of leaders, and some people, this is all that they have. And you came in there ready to get things popping and getting things going, and they weren't ready for that because this is what they were holding on to. And there are some people that are holding on to these particular things, and you come in and you know how to do it, and you do it very well, and it makes them inferior, and it makes it just like a young person coming into a job that an older person's been doing for so long, and a young person comes in, get it done, swoop, 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 fast, and an older person has now become inferior. It's no longer about time. Now it's about, are you equipped? Are you knowledgeable? And can you do it fast? And see, there are times in our lives where there's going to be times in your life where your leadership is going to be challenged. Which makes you wonder, are you a leader or are you a follower? This is one of the reasons why you have to be mindful, again, as I say each and every week, about the company that you keep. Because when you are a leader, you want to be around other leaders, because iron sharpens iron. Good people help good people. But when you're around people that don't see what you bring to the table, it's hard for them to acknowledge your leadership. You know why? Because guess what? There are leaders in our community, and then there are leaders of those leaders. See, my pastor understood that I'm a leader of leaders. I make other leaders. I mentor other young people to become leaders. That's a leader of leaders. Just like a pastor, a teacher. A teacher is a leader of leaders. They lead students to become other leaders in the world. And guess what? It becomes a rippling effect. It's the same in the negative way. When there's a negative leader, guess what they produce? Other negative leaders. This is how we were able to get all of these people who stormed the Capitol. That's not coincidental. That's strategic. And when it comes to how we're living and how we're protecting our families, we have to be strategic with the moves that we're making and the decisions that we're making on behalf of our families and what we're trying to build. Because I'm going to tell you something. I have white people that watch me all the time, and they inbox me and tell me that I am right about what I'm saying about other cultures. These white people are strategic, and they plan. I mean, they plan. Come on now. This pandemic was planned. This shot that they want us to get was planned. How do you buy something? How do you buy and patent something that's killing us? How do you put into play a strategy of defense if it just came out? This is why we got to put on our thinking caps. You can't be so subdued with substances like liquor, alcohol, cocaine, porn, shopping, social media, watching TV, that you're not paying attention to what is happening in our world and in our community. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you are a leader of leaders, you got to understand that you're going to have to make sense of certain things. And there are going to be times in our lives, like I said earlier, where things don't always make sense right away. There are going to be times where things don't make sense at that particular moment. And then as you grow, like I said earlier, when those levels grow in your life, you say, oh, now I understand why that happened. Now I understand why this had to happen in order for this to happen. There are some moments in our lives that won't change until something else changes. A dynamic changes. See, I had to learn that there is nothing that you do particularly in order for you to have enemies. There's nothing that you do in particular to have enemies. Our lives are based around people who genuinely care about us and our enemies. The Bible talks about it all the time. My enemies came up against me, but they fell. I'm going to use my enemies as my footstool. You don't know who your enemies are. We think we do. We think, oh, because she said she don't like us. She said she ain't our friend no more. They done blocked us. They don't want to hang with us. You think, oh, those are your enemies. There's a lot of different enemies. The enemy of food and obesity. The enemy of arrogance. The enemy of pride. There are multiple enemies that come in our lives that hinder us from getting to our next level. This is why you got to dig deep in the beginning. This is why you got to work on you. We 20 days in January. We got 11 more months and 11 days. 11 more months and 11 days to get it right. So when you start working on yourself in the beginning stages, you know how much stronger you'll be half of the quarter going into the year, third, fourth quarter in the end of the year, now you have built some backbone and some substance, and you can stand with your head held high and your shoulders back because you started working on you in the beginning. Don't wait till everything is a green light to focus on doing better for you in this moment. Because I'm going to tell you something. Life is like a real escape room. I don't know about you, but if you've ever been to an escape room or an amusement park where you got to go through these like little tunnels and go through all these clues, it's the same thing with real life. An escape room is just like real life. You go in thinking that it's going to be one way, and you got to go and you got to find clues. And you got to put two and two together, and you got to go, and certain things may be a mirage, and some things may be actual and factual. Some components you may think this is the right way to go, but then it end up being the wrong way to go. It's the same thing within our lives. Our lives are just like an escape room, and most of us are trying to escape the reality of what our lives have built. But the actuality is that you got to take what God has given you, the clues that you have, the understanding that you have, and if you need more of it, God says, for those who want wisdom, you ask for it. And there are things that I didn't understand until God gave me the wisdom to understand it. Oh, this don't got nothing to do with me. You're projecting your feelings and what you feel off on me. Oh, okay. So when you understand perspectives and you understand, you're trying to escape your life. You're trying to escape a situation, a scenario. So you're trying to escape your situation and put it on me. This is one of the reasons why you got to stay woke, awake, aware, alive, so that you can understand, I know what tip you on. I know what tip you on. So now you're able to maneuver, and you also understand what tip you're on. Sometimes we be on tip. And it ain't nobody else. It's us. And when you are able to say, you know what, I'm tripping. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm tripping. Or I know something's going on with me. And see, when you are able to acknowledge that in your life, things can maneuver in your life a lot different. And this is one of the things that I love, is that God will send you help. He will send you help. He will send you the desired help that you need in order to manifest the next step of your life. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about dig a little deeper. It's only the beginning. Listen, if you are engaged, got engaged over the holiday, I am now taking appointments for our Valentine's Day specials, as well as our spring season, going into our summer season for weddings. If you're looking for a wedding officiant in the Metro Detroit area, listen, holla at your girl. My contact number is 248-688-5861. My company is United Vows Officiating Services. And listen, I am super duper excited because I am celebrating 10 plus years as a wedding officiant. I started doing weddings at the Wayne County clerk's office, where I worked for 10 years, 12 years. And I'm super duper excited because I love love. And I think that when you actually love what you love, it's easier to maneuver through life. When you love what you love, it's easier to maneuver through life. It's just like it's easy to be in a relationship when a person truly loves another person. It's easy to be in a relationship with another person when they value what you value. It don't mean y'all the same people. It don't mean y'all agree or y'all have the same mind. But when you have the same values, this is why having the right people on your team is important. When you have the right values, you won't be surprised when certain things happen because they have the same value. You only get surprised when the person says they value certain things and then they don't. When they say, I value our friendship, and then they do something fake that challenges that friendship. When a person says they won't cheat and then they cheat. Okay, well then you ain't saying you ain't valuing what you said you value. Excuse the vernacular, but you ain't. If you saying that Black lives matter, but then you beefed out with Black lives, how they matter. If Black businesses is what we supposed to be supporting, why you keep spending all your money with the Chaldeans and the Asians? Now, don't mind me. I get my nails done because they get me in and out. Okay? I'm still looking for a sister that's going to get me in and out. Soon as I find her, I'm going to her. But until then, they're going to see me right there on 7 Mile. Anywho, yeah, I said it before I take it back up and add more to it. But at the end of the day, this is why that is so important. Because when there are values there, guess what? I won't be surprised. But the minute that you don't value what you say you value, you end up getting surprised. And see, I'm going to tell you something. When you start shedding that dead weight, you can maneuver through life in a different format. You can maneuver through life with a clear conscience, with a pure heart. When you start shedding dead weight, and I mean not just physical weight, I mean mental anguish. I'm talking about heartbreak. I'm talking about grief. I'm talking about financial stability. When you start shedding the things that are weighing you down, right? I made it a point last year that I was going to unfollow and unfriend anybody that made me feel any type of way. And I'm still doing it as we speak. And I don't mind losing anybody that does not value what I bring to the table, especially if I know you. Now, if we just now knowing each other and we getting to know each other, that's one thing. But if me and you been knowing each other for some time and you still acting weird, I don't want that. Because if it's causing me to feel some type of way, that's taking away my focus. When somebody makes you feel some type of way, guess what you're going to start doing? Did I do something to them? Well, what happened? Now you can't focus on your focus because now you focused on how they feel. And I'm going to tell you something. The moment that you start focusing on how everybody else feels about you, opposed to how you feel about you, you already done lost. Because at the end of the day, how people feel about you is going to change. How people feel about me is going to change. In one mindset, I may be somebody's worst enemy. But the minute that they see me on TV or with a celebrity or somebody that they may deem important, the feelings will change. The feelings will change. See, it's just like people who are friends. We was ride or die when we were single. But the minute somebody got married, so now somebody feeling some type of way. You can't hang out like you used to. And so this is why you have to be mindful of shedding that dead weight so that way you can maneuver through life the way you need to. See, the moment that I decided, you know what, I can't focus on what this other parent ain't going to do, what they are going to do. I got to focus on what I said I'm going to do. I can't worry about who's going to support my business and who said they was going to do it and who said they was going to share my video and who said they was going to like my. I can't worry about that because guess what? God will send me just like he'll send you. He'll send you new viewers. He'll send you new clients. He'll send you friendships that you never anticipated or expected or even knew could be in your path line. There are some people that I never thought that I was going to link up with. I mentally had a desire. In my heart, I had a desire. I even wrote it down in my notes, my manifestation journal. I even wrote it on my wall. But there are things in life that you just got to believe are for you. That's set up just for you. And so when the things happen, I said, man, I'm on to something. I'm on to something. Because when you start shedding that dead weight, you can maneuver in a light. You can maneuver in an energy that other people feed off of. But if you acting like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, everything's all bad. I'm so sad. And don't get me wrong. We all have our moments, right? We all do. Everybody has their moments where it's you feel it some type of way, but you also got to let that be a moment. Don't get caught slipping, because the minute that you get caught slipping, the minute I feel myself with anxiety or depression, I have to do something, turn some music on, start dancing, look at some pictures, watch some comedy, meditate, breathe, whatever it is that I have to do so that I don't go into that spiral. Because the minute that you start slipping, it'll get a hold of you and it'll pull you in and it'll keep pulling you in and it'll keep pulling you in and it'll keep pulling you in. And the next thing you know, you ain't got out of the bed. You ain't answered nobody phone calls. You ain't did your hair. You ain't went and got a haircut. You ain't feeling yourself. And now you got to work 10 times harder to get out that funk instead of catching it before it can have any root. See, this is where you got to dig deeper. In the beginning, you got to dig deeper. You're going to have to dig deeper and understand you. What's your triggers? What triggers you? What causes trauma? How do you feel in certain moments? You got to pay attention to those time frames in your life, because I'm going to tell you something. Those time frames in your life will allow you to do the fun work and the kingdom work. See, the fun work is the things that make you feel fun, the things that make you adrenaline rush, the things that make you feel like, ooh, happy inside. And then there's kingdom work. Kingdom work is going to cause you to get a little dirty. It's going to cause you to do a little bit more stretching, like I talked to you about last week. It's going to cause you to focus in and zero in on a little bit more than what you would usually do. It's going to cause you to put the phone down. It's going to cause you to put the laptop up. It's going to cause you to you can't hang out with certain people today, because today I'm focused. See, there's going to be your fun work, and then there's going to be your kingdom work. Your kingdom work is going to cause you to change the trajectory of your life and other people's lives. But see, you got to understand which kingdom you're working for. See, there are a lot of people out here that are working for Satan and they don't even know it. They're building up his kingdom. And then there are the opposite, those people that are working for God, that are angels, that are doing the work of the Lord. And those are the people who are building up that kingdom. But guess what happens when you have two kingdoms that are being built? Somebody's going to lose. Somebody's not going to always win. And you got to make sure that you're on the right team in order for you to win. This is why athletes get traded, or when their contracts are up and they become a free agent and they are able to maneuver the way that they want to maneuver through life. And this is what you got to understand in this particular moment. It's only the beginning of the year. We're only 20 days in, 11 more days left of this month. And you are going to have to tap into yourself. You're going to have to do the work for you. There were workshops, seminars. There were people that I talked to. I talked to my mentor, Ms. Champion. If it's not once a week, it's once every other week. Because guess what? I need people that's going to hold me accountable for what I say I want out of life, for what I say I'm going to do. Because guess what? What I do is going to change the lives of the people that are around me. What I do, just like what you do, is going to change the lives of the people around you. Could you imagine if those parents who actually were parents to that young man who killed those kids at Oxford High School, could you imagine if they actually had a conversation with their son and asked them what was bothering them? The changes that it would make for the people around them. This is why you got to understand that even the smallest things can affect the bigger picture. You being nicer every day can change the trajectory of other people's lives. You smiling a little bit more could change the trajectory of another person's life. You getting that extra hour of sleep will help you not to be so groggy and have an attitude with people sometimes. You actually apologizing for your wrongdoings and humbling yourself may take that relationship to a next level. But see, if you're not digging deeper to find out those areas in your life where you got to work on, it will never be effective. See, that's because it requires another level of faith. This season in our lives requires another level of faith. It requires another level of prayer. It requires another level of good decision making. I'm not a person that says I've always made good decisions, because I have not. I've made some bad choices and some bad decisions that affected not only me, but other people that I love. And see, when you understand that your decisions that you make in life are not just always about you, you move differently. When you understand the value that you bring to the table. Forget everybody else understanding your value. And forget everybody else seeing your value. You got to know your value. You got to believe in your value. You got to understand your value. Because if you don't, guess what? People will be able to move your table, move your chair whenever they feel like it. Because you have not valued what you brought to the table. Because, honey, let me tell you something. I bring the chairs and the table. What's good? And when you understand that, you don't mind people talking about you. You don't mind people saying it don't feel good, right? But you also understand and you get it. You're operating off a lower vibration and you don't believe in yourself. So because you don't believe in yourself, you're going to project your insecurities off on another person any day. And when you have that new level of faith, you don't have time to be listening to just anything. People know not to call me about certain things because I don't tolerate certain BS. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about it's only the beginning, so dig a little deeper. I don't tolerate certain conversations. And I only converse with certain people about certain things. So if the conversation ever were to come back, I know who I've discussed certain things with. This is based on my decision making, based off of what I know about people. And see, when you learn what you learn about people, you also understand I'm not in a position to judge you or to make you feel any less than. I'm in no position to make you feel any type of way. I don't have a heaven or hell to put you in, but I will hold you accountable if you plan on dealing with me. See, there are a lot of people who don't hold people accountable, and you let people treat you any kind of way, let them treat your brand any kind of way, let people treat your time any kind of way. You ain't doing that with me. And if you ain't coming with the conversation that needs to be had, then me and you don't need to talk. See, this is where you have to make the sound decision. Is this causing me to go deeper within myself, or is this causing me to be on the shallow end? Because see, the shallow end can act like they swimming. And you only know if you can swim or sink until you get in that deep end. See, the shallow end, you could play in the water. You could act like you're doing something. Have you ever seen little kids and people, they stay by the shallow end? You know why? Because they can't hold the capacity to swim into the deep. And they know that if I get further out, I may not be able to hold my own weight. I may not be able to be afloat. I may not be able to swim into this scenario. This is why you got to pay attention to the people that you have around you. When you have people around you that's digging deep and making the necessary changes, they're going to hold the people around them accountable to dig a little deeper and to make those necessary changes. But if you're okay with being around the same people who've been doing the same thing, guess what you're going to have? You're going to be in the same space talking about the same thing that you've been trying to do for all these many years for the same amount of time. And you're going to watch other people matriculate through life, and you're going to watch other people's success stories, and you won't be a success story until you hold yourself accountable and the people around you. Because I'm going to tell you something. People love you when you can party with them all day long, hang out. People love you when you're on the same league as them. It's until you make that declaration that there are going to be some boundaries. When you make, oh, nope, I can't hang out with you. I got work to do. Nope, I can't. Nope, I ain't even doing that today. I got to focus on this. See, it was at that moment that I lost friendships that I thought were my friends. Because I'm going to tell you something. Your friends, they're going to understand that you are working to build something. Your friends are going to be there to support what you're building. Your friends are going to buy what you're selling. Your friends are going to subscribe to what you're building. I'm not talking about people that know you. I'm talking about people who are your friends, people who are your family. I'm not talking about your relatives. Because see, a lot of us got relatives who say, oh, what? Well, let me know. I just let you know. What you mean let you know? I just did. What else you need me to let you know? This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm selling. These are my products. Either you're going to buy it, support it, share it, or you're not. And see, this is why you have to understand that the strategy got to be bigger than what you even realize. There's a bigger strategy. See, while you planning what you're going to do tonight and for the weekend, there are people strategizing the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Do you understand that? While you are sitting with your gift, operating at a low level capacity, there are people putting in the time, work, and dedication 50 years from now. They had already planned this pandemic. This was already in the making years ago. While we were shucking and jiving and having a good time and partying, they had already planned a strategic global pandemic. This was already, papers was already filled out, how they was going to do it. Everything was already planned out. So what that tells me is that we have to get focused on our craft and our mission and our vision if we want to be that success story that we have envisioned. How much time are you spending with your craft, with your talent, with your gift? And if you're not spending the amount of time that you're spending on all of the BS, then guess what? That's the area that you need to work on the most. The strategy. The strategy. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's more than shooting your shot. It's more than shooting your shot. Let me tell you something. It's about strategic placement. It's more than just shooting your shot. Every day, men try to talk to me. They shooting their shot, right? But you get my attention when you have strategically thought about how you going to do this thing. See, when a person has a strategy, it don't mean everything's going to go right on that strategy, but it does mean that you have a direction, a plan, a platform, a laid foundation in order for you to maneuver to the next level. So listen, I want you to focus this weekend on staying safe and digging a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. There are some things that's going to happen in your life that's going to cause you to dig deeper. Me having a child at 17, it caused me to dig deeper every day, every year, dig deeper. Because as a parent, you're going to be responsible for another person. And if another person that's supposed to be responsible with you ain't doing what they supposed to do, guess what? You're going to have to do what you got to do. And I had to dig a little deeper. As a sibling, you got to dig a little deeper. As an entrepreneur, you're going to have to dig a little deeper. As a woman, as a man, you're going to have to dig a little deeper and find your feminine energy. Find your masculine energy. I'm going to tell you something. It does not show up at your doorstep. Nobody's going to come and give it to you. You are going to have to do the work within. And I'm going to tell you something else. Every day there's a layer. There are things about me that I tolerated in my 20s that I ain't tolerated in my 30s. There are situations that I'm not even indulging in or engaging in because it's a no for me. It's a no for me. And guess what? I'm at a space in my life where that no does not feel like, oh, I'm going to lose a friend because I told him no. Oh, well, if I lose you, you weren't my friend, no way. In my no, can you come to work? No, I cannot come to work. Today is my day off and I planned on being off. See, when you start understanding your value and your worth, you start maneuvering and moving a different way. No, yes, I'll think about it. I'll keep you posted. Let me get back to you. Because guess what? Other people won't have a problem saying it to you. And now you over here like, why they doing me like this? I didn't do them like that. Well, guess what? Stop expecting things from other people and start expecting more from yourself. The more that you expect from yourself and the more that you focus on what you're building, the less you have time to focus on what nobody else is doing. I couldn't worry about what nobody else was doing because I was too focused on what I'm doing. And when you focus on what you're doing, you don't have time to focus on who don't like you, who helping you, who supporting you. Focus on the ones that are. Focus on the ones that are there. When I focused and zeroed in, I zeroed in on it. And I said, you know what? This scenario, this situation is draining me. And it needs to stop. I'm going to put a plug in it because right now, the life that I'm trying to live, this is not conducive to where I'm going. So because I know where I want to go and you're draining me, this situation is draining me, this job is draining me, or whatever the case may be, that means I need to get to another place. And I'm going to tell you something. When you understand that you got to dig a little deeper into your own life, you can hold other people accountable. And if they don't want to be held accountable, then you know those aren't the people that you need to be around. Listen, I hope you enjoyed today. You tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. Listen, make sure you tune in each and every week. I'm going to have some special guests starting next week with filming and Uncommon Conversations. Tune in each and every week for my broadcast, and make sure you share this video, okay? Step back and brand new. You know Zsa Zsa. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it, and I know you heard me the first time. Peace.